Anybody wish they could combine clickstream data into models to make them more efficient?
There are tools out there that will let you do that, so you and I know.
Yeah.
The question, are you interested from process and team point of view, from technological?
From both, actually. From both, in terms of how you might structure a team best in order to make it happen. So would you maintain a separate structure, have a dedicated structure where the two disciplines combined, or treat it on an ad hoc basis depending on the project to get the right people working together at the right time?
Obviously, the ideal utopia would be to be on the same team. At least on us is not the case. So we have like we don't have the proper data science team, we have the online analytics and the customer analytics team, which more or less, we're
same principle.
Yeah, it's because we are like we're not a pure digital company, so they had like many years ago set up the CRM team, and what we have in place at the moment is we try with some kind of way through the email system. It's gonna sound like very complicated, it's not the ideal solution. When people being sent emails from the CRM database, we also including as a URL parameter an ID, which is being captured by Adobe, and then we have an automated process that we send clickstream data back to the CRM, including that ID, which includes all the historical behavior. So we have a way to join a big chunk of the traffic automatically back into the CRM. So the guys in the CRM team can do analysis that includes both offline transactions and online activity. Obviously, that does not cover a significant portion of the online traffic, just because not everybody is registered on the email system. But that's one way that the business has decided to tackle this problem. So, and then they can solve answer all the questions using any kind of analysis was there. It's one way to deal with it. I don't know if it can work in your case, but it has a lot of problems as well. So I'm definitely not suggesting it. But
yeah, I can see it having a lot of problems.
Yeah, because the first one is, what if you're not registered in the email database? Well, you might, for example, log in on the website, but not link on the email database. So ideally, you would like to have like a common key for all the systems, which would require alignment of the systems as well.
Do you have a customer account ID that you use, or are you working off separate IDs?
That's the thing. We have one customer ID on the CRM and one ID from the website commerce. So
right.
Every customer that makes a purchase or logs in on the website has the website commerce ID, but not necessarily a CRM ID.
Right. Okay.
And
have you done a process of trying to match those together?
Yes, it's happening on the CRM team, and we're trying to make sure that every CRM customer has a website commerce ID. But because there are third parties and processing, it takes time to solve this because it has to go through IT. But it's starting when you have a single key that you can reference the customers reliably. So you can join their online and offline behavior.
So has anybody else ever done anything, for example, around looking at the parts of the site where people might be showing interest but not actually placing a transaction? So I don't know what businesses you are working, but I'm sure quite a lot of them involve the concepts of upselling or cross-selling. Although data scientists can do a great job of building out propensity models by looking at past transactions, if you actually know where people are looking, if you actually know where they've been poking around, if you know where they've been curious, we've demonstrated in the past by very, very cumbersome manual tests that those things can really be topically variable importance lists. So has anybody been able to achieve that in their work? It's remarkable that nobody can do it. It sounds so simple.
I suppose the key to that is to understand the specific events and variables that you're looking for. So, I mean, I can obviously speak exactly to what you're trying to achieve there. But, so if you're looking for someone who has never bought from a particular product section, you need to be able to tie that visit to that customer ID. So this individual who's high value, who's never placed a bet on this lobby, has been seen on this lobby 3 times in the last week. In William Hill's case, that theoretically should be relatively easy because you do anything of any interest, you just log in, so people self-identify. The difficulty is always understanding exactly what piece of data you're looking for and making sure that data gets sent somewhere where it can be combined with the rest of the data. And usually that won't be inside a tool like Adobe Analytics, it will be in some customer database which R is overlaid onto. So I'm sure you've still got the technical challenges of getting the resource to actually build that out. The theory is actually fairly straightforward. It's just actually getting a company to build it.
Can you recommend any, Nick?
Have a chat with Dave Searle at Synthasa.
Yeah, I have them.
I know.
Synthasa are very expensive, but they're very good.
Yeah.
If anyone has any tips on how to get Synthasa cheaper,
Get
another discussion.
Photographs of Dave.
Another discussion.
So this goes back to your first question of teams and how you build out your team. One of the key points of anything that data scientists do through R is we do have our own dev guys who, like cloud engineers, who help with the building and gathering of the data from the different sources. So it's not just analysts and digital analysts and data scientists. There is a developer, a cloud guy involved in the process to get the whole pipeline of data set up in the first place.
Is this a role like a permanent role or a sort of
well, it's not
on a project by project
because we're an agency. It's not a case of, and we have retainers, but it's generally project based. Everything comes to the digital analyst first, and it's up to us to have an understanding of what requires a data scientist. Have a rough idea of the overview, and then we will have our developers, and they will jump on to a project, and you'll pull in 4 or 5 people that are necessary, and then they will work on the project together.
The cloud platform that you're using, is it proprietary, or are you using something like the Google?
We use Google Cloud.
Yeah, I think that probably simplifies things down because Google will have built out many of the integrations already.
Yes,
so if you're on a proprietary platform, it becomes difficult to actually try and get the resource to do stuff. You go into a queue of other work that other people want done.
So let's say purely conceptually, one would have a Google Analytics stack and then a traditional transactional data warehouse migrated up into the Google Cloud platform. Would that then, in your eyes, make everything so much easier?
Funnily enough, we are doing something with the clients already moved to using the Google Cloud for their storage, and it's made it very easy for them to give us. They've built a SQL query to build a view, and we get access just to that view, so we don't see anything else because we're agency based and all GDPR. They have their own cloud project that we don't have access to, and we can reference all their transactional data minus people's names and addresses, so we just have the user ID within our own project that they've set up for us. So yeah, it does make it easier, and being an agency, we don't have to deal with having our developers manage the whole rest of the site and the data warehouse and so on. So it's a bit simpler from our perspective.
Probably move on.
Because in here you are speaking about data scientists, you are speaking about analysts, but the most important, like the part that we are missing here is those part, like the data warehouse developers, the ones that they are creating the ETL, and the ones that they are putting the data together. So you know, like the first thing you have to have there is the other team, that's the people that are writing, like they are doing the modeling, they are doing the ETL, they are working with SQL, so they are taking and putting the data together. Because in finally, like if you have like different systems, what you want is to have all data together, so then you can play, and if you have some information about the customer in one place, in another place, so you can put it all together and have like this kind of single customer view of the customer. So then later the part that data scientists will do, or the part that the analyst will do, is going to be much easier. So it's about just deciding which is like the data, like the technology you're going to use, like relational database, how the technology is, whatever, data lake, so whatever you want, and then just writing the proper pipelines in order to put all the data there, just do the modeling, and then just have the data scientists or analysts using that data.
Is this something that you've got where you currently work?
So in our case, we got the person working with the data warehouse, So we have two different transactional systems where we take the data from, and in the future we want to like do this Python API framework in order to call to different APIs for GA or some other tools. .mailer, that is our tool that we use in order to send emails. Or so once we have this framework where we can call APIs, we will be able to just go take the data, put it in our case it's a SQL Server, a relational data warehouse, and then just create the model in order to put all together. So then later we can just like do whatever analysis we want.
And would you constrain it just to analysis, or would you actually operationalize things to serve, for example, programmatic marketing campaigns?
Well, it's depending. In our case, we are an e-commerce company, so we we are still like our stakeholders, our like executives are not knowing a lot about our data. So we have like this lag because in reality we don't have like we have some reporting about sales, but we don't have a lot of like insights like wanted from analysts. But for example, we are working right now in a model in order to just predict when a customer is gonna buy the next time. So the data is being used from the data warehouse, so we just take the data from there and then just use it.
Do you also suffer any latency problems there between generating a prediction and generating a score and actually getting it propagated into the relevant system?
In our case, it's not so important, like the latency, because we don't, like we are like we sell the contact lenses, so it's not so important. The customer is not gonna be so day by day. It's like gonna be 2-3 months, 4 months, depending on his behavior when it comes to transactions. So it's not so important. The latency in the prediction, but it's like it's gonna be fast. It's not gonna be very accurate.
Just to understand your question, because you want to have a method of serving the results of prediction of a model quickly to the client. That's what you meant before.
To a programmatic campaign in this particular example. So let's say, in a real life example, was a big boxing fight today, Anthony Joshua. My guys build a propensity model which determines which of our customer base have not bet on boxing before, but we think they have a very high propensity to do so, and hence we want to serve that an offer or some message to them specifically
onto your website.
Not onto our website, onto third-party websites through display advertising. Which at the moment we can do, yes we can do it, but it's a very, very
slow,
long-winded process involving people extracting data, people importing data, people saying this doesn't work, emails getting backwards and forwards, and
But that also doesn't depend on how the display network, how it performs, how quickly we can update its databases. For example, if you upload some kind of segmentation information, still it's going to take time to propagate. I don't know how display networks do that, but still there's that bottleneck.
Indeed it would, but we could work around that if we knew what the bottlenecks were, and we could start setting up a series of automations, which meant we didn't only have one campaign live, but maybe we had 20 campaigns that were all based around propensity modeling or value modeling or behavior modeling.
Maybe I don't know if display network offer that possibility, but maybe it's